Happy Sunday afternoon. Welcome to Star Card Podcast. Here at Star Card Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. Today is August 17th, 2025, and you've tuned in to a live tarot throw. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations and breaking away from the one we're in now. I want to say hello and welcome to anyone who's watching and tuning in, and invite you to go to the chat and put in your tarot reading requests if you have one. Otherwise, I have, as usual, at least 3, and I would like to tell you about what I've added to our description. If you go to the description box, I've got a nice long list of links to learn from. So I invite you to look at the description. I'm going to take a look over here myself. I put in 2 new links that have the subcategory of hidden knowledge. And one is from my good friend, Psychic Liz Cross. And you can see Psychic Liz Cross in 2 Star Card podcasts, by the way. You'll have to go back to the very beginning, probably in May. She makes an appearance in Adventure number 1, chapter number 5, Breakaway Ray, Save Your DNA. And it's the last chapter is 5 of 5. And then after I learned how to do what I did in that episode, I took another interview I did with Psychic Liz Cross, and I turned it into an hour-long production called Breakaway Ray and Psychic Liz Cross Target Karma. And at the moment, it has the most views. Anyway, that's some fun stuff to take a look at. But today, I heard from Psychic Liz Cross on 2 subjects. One was the Roswell Crash. You might be aware, if you're tuning into this podcast, that there was a UFO crash in the 1940s in Roswell, New Mexico, here in the United States. And she and her co-host, Mr. Reality, what a wonderful host that man is. He's very bright. He's totally on the ball. Really enjoy his interviews with Psychic Liz Cross. Congratulations, Mr. Reality. Rock on, dude. You're awesome. Anyway, they talk about the Roswell crash, and they also talk about Patty, the Bigfoot or Sasquatch. So that's interesting to learn about. I also put in another link from a well-respected scholar. Her name is Michelle Gibson. I've spoken about her on appearances I've made on the Typical Skeptic podcast in the past. And she recently posted a short video. A short video for her was like 35 minutes called The Gatekeepers of History. And I included it today for many reasons. One of them being, I like how Ms. Gibson is so convicted to her belief that the earth has been taken over already. Anyway, you'll get hints that I agree with Ms. Gibson if you keep watching Star Card Podcast. So I observe already that we have some friends in the chat. And I think I'd like to remind everyone, before I look at the chat and see what's going on, I like to throw a couple of cards. I've got one, related to what we're studying here at Star Card that I want to do first. But then, yes, I can't wait to do readings for people. I also want to say, check Star Card Podcast because I reposted the link from last night's show. I was on Rob's Typical Skeptic podcast again. I think it's like the 12th time or something, throwing tarot cards, having a good time. I didn't think I was going to be throwing cards today. But what do you know? Here I am. I'm happy to be here to share a Sunday afternoon with you. So I'm going to eyeball the chat real quick and get my cards out. Okay. All right. I see Light Blue is there. Darling is there. Sally Forth, I remember you from yesterday. And hey, I recognize that picture. That's Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. Good to see you. And I think some of you might actually be new subscribers. So grateful. I'm glad that you tuned in. You get more Breakaway Ray, right? Is that what you wanted? Now you got it. So let's shuffle some cards. And oh yeah, let's go to the tarot cam. One moment, please. I look all formal up top and I got pajama bottoms on the bottom. It's okay to be casual on a Sunday afternoon. All right, so I want to throw some cards first. You know what we'll do? We'll just throw cards on a Sunday afternoon, and we'll invite the tarot world, the spirit world, to send whoever's watching the program, whoever's tuning in right now, whoever's in the chat. Maybe the tarot world wants to send us a message, give us a heads up, on a Sunday afternoon. Of course, I'm Italian American. I grew up in a very traditional way. If you're Italian American, every Sunday afternoon we would have dinner. We called it dinner, but it would be served about 1 o'clock. Spaghetti and meatballs and everything on top of that. And that would be a good time to sit across from the table from your family, the people that are most important to you, and renew your relationships and get ready for the week. And here we are on a Sunday afternoon, all pretending to be of Italian American spirit. Let's get together with our family in the spirit world, invite them to share with us their observations and where we should pay attention. For sure, we can all imagine our grandparents at the table with us. They want to hear what's going on in our lives so that they can share their wisdom. And, maybe I'm just very fortunate, but my grandparents never steered me wrong. They weren't giving advice all the time, but whenever they did say something, it was meritorious and worthwhile listening. And if you've already been tuning into my show, you've probably heard me quote my grandparents several times. So, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, my eyes are closed, but I realize a card just turned face up, so I'm going to take a peek. Oh, okay, so it's the Five of Wands. This is not my throw, by the way. It's the Five of Wands, and I just want to say that, I'm speaking about a lot of love with family and communication with the tarot world, but also that's kind of a controversial thing when you're talking about a spirit world and communication with discarnate spirits, for example. Although I'm going to say that this is much safer than playing with a Ouija board. So let's get to the shuffling. And again, we're going to invite the tarot world, the spirit world, our guides and our angels, the universe. Check out where we are now and tell us where we need to pay attention so we have another successful week. Because every day gets better and better. And every week gets better and better too. There's nowhere to go but up. Please show us what we all need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear. Whatever time anyone's watching. Happy Sunday afternoon to everybody. Okay, so first come the two cards at the top that usually recapitulate what I say at the beginning, what my intention was before I dealt. Yeah. I did observe that some cards went face up. I saw just now that, oh, look at that. I'm not really looking, but look at what's happening. We're revealing some cards as we're throwing them. I'm trying hard not to get too excited about the cards that are already face up. By the way, I'm going to have to fix these cards. Okay, well, let's turn these around. What did we already get? What did we already reveal to ourselves? Well, we're not messing around. You've probably heard me say this before about number 2, the High Priestess. This is the first card we revealed, even though it's the 4th one in order, it looks like. The High Priestess is a very powerful card. Let's get the glass and read what it says. Intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, and high morals. So, just as we're talking about inviting the tarot world to speak to us, the tarot world speaks back and says, here you go, here comes a message. And there's magic in the air with the Ace of Wands. And I notice that every time I deal and throw tarot cards, there's a lot of magic going on. You'll see what I mean if you haven't already followed along with me. Ace of Wands, new project, inspiration, urge to create, willpower, desire, power, potential beginnings, new opportunities, and growth. I'm looking at the card with my glass, and I like what I see, because in the background, I didn't notice this before, but in the lower left corner, there's a castle, and it looks like it's kind of a ruin. But anyway, there's still magic in the air. The universe is bringing us magic in this tarot reading. Down here, we have a kind of a, I'm not going to say a contrast, but two different kinds of situations. We have the Four of Pentacles saying, hold on to what's valuable. And then also the Page of Cups says there's a happy surprise. Now let's reveal the rest of these cards and see what the whole message looks like. But obviously it was important that these were revealed right away as I was dealing the cards. Apparently, I'm going to go along with that. Whatever you say, Tarot World. Okay, start me out with a challenge. The Eight of Swords. So I'll read to you what the Eight of Swords says, and then I'll tell you what I've transformed it into. The Eight of Swords reads, negative thoughts, self-imposed restriction, imprisonment, victim mentality, and entrapment. And also, if you look at the card, a couple of things stand out, obviously. She is surrounded by swords, although she can't really see them. She knows they're there. They're not hurting her, but she's aware that they are there. And then the other thing you notice is that she has feet both on land and in water. And that indicates, like, you know, two worlds, two dimensions, otherworldly. So even though it has a negative connotation, I believe that we can use it in the connotation I've been using it in, which is to say that this card says as much as you can imagine. If you can imagine things being pretty bad, then guess what? You'll be looking around for things that are bad, and you're going to find what you're looking for. And if you can imagine things are going to be pretty good, guess what? You're going to be looking for good things. And then things are going to seem pretty awesome. So as much as you can imagine. And then we just had the Eight of Swords. Wow. And now we're going to downscale to the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is a card of something that's hidden. I think I have an inkling of where all this is going, by the way. This is related to my whole game plan, my whole lesson plan for today. So the Seven of Swords shows that something is hidden, and I'm going to read what it says at the bottom of the card there. Betrayal, deception, getting away with something, acting strategically, and trickery. As much as we can imagine, and we might be doing a lot of imagining, something is hidden and somebody's getting away with something, okay? That's the situation that we're going to be on guard for. Meanwhile, this is the more dynamic, action sentence. Hey, the Emperor says, we're in control, or shall I say, you are in control. But I'm speaking to you as an audience, as a group of viewers. The Emperor reads, respect, leadership, stability, structure, rules and power, authority, father figure, protection, control, discipline, focus, and practicality. While I would say that the Eight of Swords looks like they're passive and helpless in the face of, whatever dastardly deed this dude is up to, nevertheless, we are being reminded that we're in control. We can connect with and ask for help and guidance from the spirit world and the subconscious. We can program our own subconscious so that we become new people, new and improved. We don't have to, have a military abduction, have someone do it to us. We don't have to hope for a neural link someday and have someone do it to us. We can do it ourselves. We can make magic happen. We can create our new path. And we should do so in all haste. There is the Knight of Wands. He was a big star yesterday. The Knight of Wands, you'll see in the background in his left corner, those are the Egyptian pyramids. And to me, that represents old school spirituality, meaning the universe has your back. Hey, remember this? It was looking pretty bad, and people were getting away with stuff at our expense, and a lot of it we couldn't see in multiple ways. We're blindfolded, and this guy's being sneaky, right? Trying to get my orientation here. Okay, we're blindfolded on purpose, and this guy's getting away with something sneaky. Okay, doesn't look good, but we have the power to control our own subconscious, and if we do that, whatever it is we project outward will also change as if by magic. So we should hasten to do that. And our final message for us to pay attention to. Hey, yeah, right on, tarot cards. It's the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords says, transition, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage, and moving on. In my opinion, if I've communicated everything correctly today when I'm done with this podcast, we will be moving on. We're going to be moving on into a better situation. But what I want to get at is the spirit world is saying, you are being divinely guided from rougher waters to smoother waters. And I'm going to say, based on the theme that I have planned today, it has to do with the whole of society, the whole of our civilization. We're learning more about, we'll say extraterrestrials and UFOs or UAPs or even the underwater versions of them. We have all kinds of experiencers telling us what's going on because they're recovering their memories and sharing it in a very brave way. I'm not one of those people. Okay, I'm riding their coattails. So as a civilization, I hope we're all being guided into smoother waters. But we do have to control and hold on to what's the most important to us as humans. And I would say, in my opinion, it's our humanity and our consciousness. That's what's valuable to us. Because despite the neural links and despite the military abductions, etc., we can create a better world for everybody. Okay, we have the power to do so. Let's not yield and throw in the towel and not even recognize our own powers before we give it a chance, and we'll be pleasantly surprised. All right, that was wonderful. I see that the chat is pretty hot. Wow, this is almost like typical skeptic podcast. That chat gets rocking over there too. So before I get to your requests, which I cannot wait to do, I'm going to shuffle the cards very quickly, and then I'm going to present one of my controlled time travel experiments, which is where I invite the tarot cards to help us take a look at things, look at timelines, into the future, into the past. That's right, I was going to fix all these. Okay, shouldn't be talking while I'm shuffling. I should be concentrating on what I'm doing. One moment. This is watching me fix the cards is more fun than watching my face while I fix the cards. At least you guys get to see some action here. Okay. Ouch, Three of Swords. Yeah, keep moving, Chariot. Oh, yeah, sweet. The Lover's card. That is a card of communication with the spirit world, among other things. Okay. So what I've got is, as I was mentioning at the top of the program, Psychic Liz Cross and Mr. Reality talked about the Roswell crash. And so I've got a Post-it note here that says, Roswell, contrived or out of nowhere. So I've heard lots of different stories. Maybe you've heard the same thing, that the Roswell incident took place because some spaceship was interfered with terrestrial radar and it caused them to crash. Another version I heard, and which I'm not disqualifying, it's still possible. It's still in the realm of possibilities. I heard a version where the Roswell crash was actually off-world Germans using time travel and putting technology in the Roswell crash for, let's just say, Operation Paperclip people to back engineer in the 20th century, which would explain a whole bunch. And, I'm not disqualifying that idea. It sure is entertaining. But according to Psychic Liz Cross, it was, in fact, an extraterrestrial species with a very common goal, which would be to conquer planet Earth. And these extraterrestrial creatures, it turns out, look like insects. I'm not going to be too specific. I don't want to give away too many spoilers. But in the Roswell crash, these creatures were actually 8 foot tall, of fair complexion. They looked more humanoid than insectoid. And one of the bodies is still in storage, probably where they keep the Lost Ark and the Raiders of the Lost Ark movies. And then these bodies, these creatures that were in the Roswell crash, they were created specifically for this crash because I guess there's a plan, like they want awareness brought up so that, people are accustomed. Look, there's the lover's card again. Okay. Because they want the awareness of humans on Earth about, their society. But in the long run, what they actually want is for us to agree to let them be our rulers. They want to make friends with us. They want to tell us what we want to hear so that we'll just go along with whatever they have to say. So I think there's a lot of that going on, that would be by hook. And in the other case, it would be by crook, right? By conquest. So I don't have any fear of a extraterrestrial conquest at this time. I think the opposite is going on. I think humans have started projecting their power outward around the galaxy. But anyway, let's see what the cards have to say. Was Roswell planned? Was it contrived by Dark Fleet and off-world Germans, or was it contrived, as Psychic Liz Cross claims to have discovered today, another species, again, offering some reverse engineering? Or was it really just some alien crash, like the military told us, and maybe even weather balloon involved, and it was just an accident, it was no big deal, and everyone wishes that, nobody even heard about it because we're tired of answering questions about it. It's nothing, it's no lunch. I'm forgetting the good expression. I cannot wait to read what everyone's saying in the chat. Anyway, let's find out. Please tell us what we need to know about Roswell. Was it contrived or was it an accident? Please show us what we want to see. Please tell us what we want to hear. Well, I should rephrase that. Could you please tell us what you know about the Roswell crash? Was it planned or was it an accident? Well, so we'll throw some cards for was it planned, and then we'll throw some cards for was it an accident? Was it planned? I'm asking about the Roswell crash, 1940s, New Mexico. Was it planned or was it an accident? Was it planned or an accident? We'll go with that one and that one. Okay. All right. Let's have some fun. As I said several times yesterday, this is all for entertainment purposes only. I hope you're all having a good time. And, if it's entertaining and maybe even inspirational, makes people want to learn more, that's great. If I'm accurate, well, that's gravy. That's icing on the cake. Here I go. Was it planned? Celebration. I hear the bells ring like someone won on a game show. Someone, ding, someone got it right. Four of Pentacles is back, holding on to something valuable. Oh, we have the Page of Wands. He's kind of the manifestation card. What manifestation is when you take ideas and you turn them into physical reality. That kind of matches the story that Psychic Liz Cross told today about how these extraterrestrials, which are energy beings, turn their energy into physical beings and sent those beings in the Roswell crash. So things kind of pair up here, match up with the story. This is the Nine of Swords, which talks about sleepless nights. So if we're asking, was it planned? Ding, 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 ding. You're correct. Hold on to that story. That's correct. Those guys made it happen. These energetic beings created it so that we would see it in Earth's 3D plane. Yeah, we should all be nervous. Okay, not nervous that, from extraterrestrials, but nervous about the people who hid it from us. And here I'd like to quote former President Eisenhower. I'll paraphrase, we need to be aware of the military-industrial complex. So this is 5 cards about, was Roswell an accident? Was it just a fluke? Is it nothing to be afraid of or worried about? It's just, unfortunate for those aliens? Let's find out. Was it an accident? 7 of Pentacles talks about hard work and a long-term view. It makes me think that that they're working hard at telling this story about it just being an accident. I don't know how many of you remember seeing the picture that they often have about the newspaper where they had the soldier holding up the piece of the water balloon, or sorry, the weather balloon. How many times have they tried to downplay what happened at Roswell? The Four of Swords says rest and relaxation. I might even suggest it says you're dreaming. You're working so hard at that story, you're dreaming. It's not an accident. You're watching Star Card Podcast. And this Star Card offers hope and faith. And then there's the Queen of Pentacles. You know, I put quite a perspective on the first two cards. It makes me wonder what's going on with these two cards, because these are so positive. I'll read to you what it says about the Queen of Pentacles. Nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. Oh, well, I guess someone's making money on that story, which I'm talking about on Star Card Podcast and revealing. Yeah. So I think the tarot world's being funny right now. The 10 of Cards says it's a dream come true. So if we go by the notion that Roswell being an accident is a made-up story, which they worked hard at for a long time, but they're dreaming, you know, that story is going to fly because you're watching Star Card Podcast. I'm calling it to everyone's attention. But for sure, someone made a lot of money off of the reverse technology, and it was a dream come true for them. Now, I may or may not be accurate, but it sure was fun to tell that story. And I invite you to observe. You don't necessarily have to comment on whether or not you think I have a confirmation bias, which is fine. I mean, if my bias appeals, great. And like television, you know, if there's something that doesn't appeal to you on television, you can always change the channel. So let's go now to the chat and see what's going on. Wow, there's a lot of friends saying hi. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy to see you. Okay. All right, light blue. I see you're first in line. Sally Forth, so sorry. So, that's not what I meant to say. Sally Forth, so happy to see you again. Thank you. And yes, hi, Tiffany. Yeah, oh, it's almost Monday where you are, huh, light blue? Okay. Thank you, Sally Forth. Glad you're in the right spot. All right, Mackenzie Knight, I see you would like a reading. I have you in line after light blue. I'm going to have to maybe make some notes here. So light blue asked about, love for 2025. I'll move my notes out of the way in a moment. And then Mackenzie. Okay, so Mackenzie just graduated from college. Sounds like you're ready to start a new life. Congratulations. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by like for, by the way, but if you want to illuminate me, that's great. So, by light. All right. Quite a lot of customers today. Guided by light. Oh, house moving. Sure. Thanks, everybody, for putting in your specific request. That helps. Yes, Sally, I would be interested. And I see someone going by the letter P. And yes, letter P, I'm glad that you're here. Just about everyone's new here. And you may ask a question. I'll keep an eye out for it. Okay, so light blue posed the question, what would be the goal to rule us? So I'm going to flip the camera up for this part. Okay. So I'm not saying, excuse me a second. So by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not already aware, I was a school teacher for 33 years. So I invite you to be patient as I might present an analogy or a comparison to help illustrate my point. And these are my opinions only, right? So I want you to imagine in the antebellum South of the United States, you know, those states that decided to form their own country called the Confederate States of America. And in those states, in the antebellum South, they had houses where a master would live, and the master would be, you know, the governor of all that he could see and could not see, including all the people, and a lot of the people that work for him, he owned. Well, that's a lot of power. And so that would be the goal of conquering us, having a lot of power. And I've heard other researchers talk about, including Michelle Gibson, by the way, that, you know, our powerful planet Earth was giving off energy like crazy and attracting other beings that aren't able to generate the kind of power that we can because we are connected directly to source. They are not. We have more chakras than them. I don't know if the 2 points are related, but I know that's a thing too. And so, you know, they may not be enlightened people, but they have a tool where they could put us in our place. They're thugs, and they found a way to hijack our energy system here on Earth, our free energy system. And instead of us enjoying free energy, we're giving off energy which they feed on. They're parasitic. And I'll go so far, because we're on the internet, this is all for entertainment purposes only, but I'll go so far as to say they have interfered with the reincarnation process to boot. So some people, well, I'm imagining that just about everybody on Earth has an extraterrestrial tie, but I also think that these creatures have hijacked human reincarnation, and those would be the people that are really running the show. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. Got a lot of readings to go. Let's go back to the chat now and make sure I gather up everybody's requests. Okay. Yeah, we should not be afraid of extraterrestrials. I agree with Sally Forth, because, you know, I feel like, you know, if we have anything to worry about, it's already happened. Okay, Abby's asking for a reading. Hello, Abby. This is a lot of readings. New job. Yeah. I've been there recently. I'll do my best. Hey, I'm having a lot of fun reading your comments, Sally Forth. Light blue, if you would like to make a list, that's okay. I think you can see I'm also making a list. Oh, okay. I get you now, Mackenzie. Okay, so I'm showing you what I've got. I've got guided light is, okay, but first we're doing light blue, love before 2025 is over. Mackenzie, guided by light, asked about house moving, and Abby asked about a new job. So 4 readings sounds like plenty, and I think I should hold at 4. So I want to congratulate everyone for getting their 4 in, their requests in. I don't know how long I'm going to go. We'll see how we do. And thanks for having confidence in me, everybody. Who am I to you? So that's wonderful. Well, here we go. And I need to take a quick drink here. Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for liking and subscribing, and if you want to share or even just tell a friend. I'm really excited to have more than 40 subscribers. That's a gigantic deal. Keeps me motivated. All right, so we're starting again with light blue. What does love look like before the year is out? I'm talking about the next 5 months, I guess. Please show us what light blue needs to hear. Please show us what light blue needs to see about love before the year is out. Love, companionship, partnership before the year is out. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can use the email address you see in the description to request a reading. I can I can send you a video, or I can meet with you, video conference. I do have a couple of quote unquote free readings to give away. First come, first serve. And as of this date, I have not charged anyone a penny for any reading, which is fine with me. I'm delivering messages, and if it helps someone or brightens their day, that's great. But right now, let's help Light Blue get a look at what romance might develop before the year is out. For Light Blue, please tell us what Light Blue needs to hear. Please show us what Light Blue needs to see. Light Blue. Whoa. Light Blue. Love before the end of the year. Romance, partnership before the year is out. For Light Blue. Well, okay, right there. All right, Light Blue, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're all having fun. Thanks for requesting a reading. What about romance before the year is out? The King of Cups. That's like saying, you're the master of emotions. I mean, the first row usually like restates what it is we're requesting when we deal the cards. And I'll read you what it says about the King of Cups. I mean, if you're familiar with tarot, I think you already know what I mean. Emotionally balanced, compassion, diplomatic, control, balance, supportive leader, tolerance, empathic. I want to say these are all qualities that someone might be attracted to. So if this is you, we're discussing someone who is emotionally balanced and diplomatic and in control, you might attract someone like that. But again, cups are emotions, and we were requesting about an emotional situation. And based on what I'm learning from psychics I've consulted with, I think the whole game down here, the whole karma game is about emotions. Hey, so I might suggest right away, like I did last night on Rob's show, that if you're looking for love and this card shows up, it's going to be someone similar to you. I think this is the High Priestess, and she's someone who understands magic and the subconscious, maybe understands that mainstream media hasn't got anything for us but untruths and distractions. So, it might be someone you discover has the same likes that you have. And maybe it'll be someone, who also subscribes to the same channels you do. But if I was you, I would also be asking about, it's great to have friends on the internet. I kind of want to meet somebody in person. I don't want to have to turn on my computer every time I talk to someone. So, but I think that person is out there. I think, and I mean the live and in-person person, okay? Not just a digital friend. There's nothing wrong with digital friends. I love all my digital friends. But again, we're thinking about romance in the old-fashioned 20th century way, boy meets girl. Okay, next up, this is the how-to, the instruction side. Well, let's take a look at the cards, and we'll see what kind of situation develops here. The Five of Cups, yeah, it's about disappointment. It looks disappointing. He's looking at all the cups that are down, and there's two that are standing up behind him, but he's not paying attention to those, okay? The Five of Cups reads, regret, failure, disappointment, pessimism, loss, and grief. If we were to stop right there, we might say, you're asking about romance before the year is out. I got some secret knowledge for you. Don't get your hopes up, but we're not done throwing cards yet. Not only don't get your hopes up, but wait a second, you got something behind you there. You might need a whole new outlook on where you go looking for love, to mangle an expression. Next up, it's justice. Yay. Justice represents cause and effect, and it also talks about fairness, truth, clarity, equality, balance, and law. I don't know if you're going to meet a lawyer, for example, but I think that justice is on the way. Look, the justice is behind you. These two cups are standing up. Justice is behind you. The right path is behind you. And then, I don't know if you were watching Typical Skeptic podcast last night, but whenever this card comes up, I have to share a secret, and that is it's the Queen of Wands. And she says, zest for life. And I, Breakaway Ray, have a crush on the Queen of Wands. I enjoy her energy. I would spend all day with her if I could. Okay. And it says courage, confident, independence, focused, zest for life, determination, and joy. You know, the way that she makes me feel is what I imagine people who are looking for companionship, I imagine that's what they want from the person that they find. So even though you might be in a situation where it's disappointing, do a quick turnaround. You already know what's in front of you. Look behind you, because she could be sitting right there. Anyway, the last one says the 5 of Wands. And just to pirate an old comment I made from last night, you know, if you're in the market, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition. So we all have to take extra steps to make ourselves even more presentable, give ourselves the edge, make our plumage a little bit more attractive than the other birds' plumage, right? Make our nests shinier and more comfortable so we attract better, right? And then if you do all those things, you could enjoy the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles reads wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, and contribution. I would go with long-term success. So if there was a quick message, you know, you asked for help from the tarot world. The message is don't focus too long on your disappointment, because justice is right around the corner. There's plenty of fish in the sea, and you might meet the one I have a crush on. It's a hot market out there. You know, give yourself an edge, because good things can happen. It's a positive message. I don't know how accurate it is. Maybe you'll let me know how it goes. Okay, thank you very much. Light blue. Let's go to Mackenzie now. I think Mackenzie asked for a reading. Go back up and check out Mackenzie's comments just in case. Oh, yeah. Mackenzie's looking for a job. Oh, yeah. Graduating. Okay. The graduate. Well, congratulations, Mackenzie. I take it this is the first of your degrees. I hope and pray sincerely that you have limited debt. I know it's hard to get out of college nowadays without debt. And then, you know, again, maybe just the first of your degrees. I'm someone who admires scholarly pursuits. And also, looking back as a teacher for 33 years and all the things I taught, I just, you know, I was a master of instruction of things that did not matter or were not true. There's so many things, like at the end of my career, I was going through the history book saying, I'm not sure how I'm going to teach this lesson without, you know, biting my lip and biting my tongue and trying to say, well, this is not really true. Anyway, I feel like I'm in a better position now. I can more or less speak a little bit more freely. Sally Forth seems to get where I'm coming from. But this is for Mackenzie. Mackenzie, the college graduate. So exciting. You're going to get to be a brand new adult. The new and improved version of whatever your parents might have been when they graduated. I'm guessing that they graduated. You got your whole world in front of you. I bet there's going to be some manifestation. Makes me think of the Page of Wands. There's going to be some adventure involved. I expect to see the Fool card. And I'm expecting to see maybe the 2 of Cups, because there's going to be partnerships, maybe the 3 of Pentacles. There's going to be teamwork. All right. Let's go one more time. Please show us what Mackenzie needs to see. Please tell us what Mackenzie needs to hear. Good for you, Mackenzie. This is for Mackenzie. Let's give her a good send-off. Get this college graduate going. All right. For Mackenzie. It's a little bit warm today where I am in California, and I think the cards are a little bit sticky, or maybe I am. For Mackenzie. All right, Mackenzie. It's a graduation gift from Breakaway Ray in the tarot world. Hey, the Hierophant, the learned person. The Hierophant reads, institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness, bonded, mercy, wisdom, and trust. And I was giggling right away because we were talking about your education, and the Hierophant is the learned man. We were just talking about you. And there's magic in the air. As you graduate, you learned person, you. New project, inspiration, urge to create, willpower, desire, power, potential beginnings, new opportunities, and growth. And if I could add anything to that, you learned person, Mackenzie, follow a path that brings you joy. Follow the path that comes with the most grace and ease. That is the one that will keep you aligned to your soul's path. And when you're on your soul's path, the universe finds it easier to provide, and you will find it easier to manifest what you desire and what you need. So some words of wisdom out of my mind anyway. Let's see if there's another nice sentence here. Did I say Three of Pentacles? I did. The Three of Pentacles is the teamwork card. Okay. The Three of Pentacles says teamwork, collaboration, learning, right? Learning again, implementation, and building something. Yeah, you're all done learning. Now it's time to get out there and join the team or build the team that you need to work on your project. And the Six of Cups talks about happy memories. And, this could have multiple layers of meaning. One is, your childhood is over. You're graduated from college. You're a grown-up now. Everything behind you are childhood memories, happy memories. And then we have the King of Cups again. And the King of Cups reads, emotionally balanced, compassion, diplomatic, control, balance, supportive leader, tolerance, and empathic. There must be a reason why this guy keeps showing up. I think, if you have to go forward, I realize that this is a male energy. I'm not sure if you're a male or female. I'm guessing female, but what I'm getting at is we all need to embody this energy. We all need to be in control and diplomatic. That's the most efficient way to go. Don't burn energy you don't need to burn. Why give away energy to someone who doesn't deserve it or some issue that doesn't deserve it? Be emotionally balanced. That's going to be the strong leader that other guys want to cooperate with and join the team with. Finally, look at this guy again. Five of Cups. I might suggest, without reading the card, things look tough ahead. There are challenges. Things are messed up. Someone messed up those cups and it wasn't you. Okay? But you're the Page of Swords. You have new ideas. You are curious. You have a thirst for knowledge. You have new ways of communicating. So, the universe is going to bring you whatever you think is missing. I kind of like how this story is playing out here. Yeah, people made a mess. Now you're the only one there left to clean it up. Good thing you're in charge because you have new ways of communicating. You have a thirst for knowledge. You can solve this problem. And even though you may only be looking at the cups that are standing up and you can't see what the universe is giving you, the universe is there to lend a hand. So you may indeed be a very young person, perhaps in your young 20s. Time to start developing that communication with your spirit guides and your higher self, if you haven't already done so. I had to wait 50 years to get mine going. So, but if you start early, look up Jerry Seinfeld and transcendental meditation. Okay, you can make your life better almost at the drop of a hat, as long as you can manage that manifestation, which you might need to learn about. But we already decided you're a good student. Good luck, Mackenzie. Thanks for letting me read for you. Okay, so next up, I've got guiding light is changing houses, changing homes. Oh, guided by light. Okay, guided by light. Please show us what guided by light needs to see. Please tell us what guided by light needs to hear about his move. I don't know why I said his. I'm sorry, I don't know your gender. I'm going to go with his for right now. So please show us what guided by light needs to see. Please show us what guided by light needs to hear about about guided by light to move. Moving is a big deal. Can you show us what guided by light needs to see? Can you tell us what guided by light needs to hear about moving? You know, let's take care of guided by light first. And I have a nice question I'd like to ask. Guided by light is moving. Can we have a message for guided by light and the move? Here we go. And the move, guided by light and the move. I hope you got some good friends who are going to help you move that furniture around. I hope you're moving into a wonderful new place. All right. I don't know if I'm going to be accurate, but I'm going to try to be inspirational and entertaining. Good luck to you on your move, guided by light. Let's take a look at the cards. Yay. This looks promising. It's the Ace of Cups. We almost want to stop here and quit while we're ahead. Ace of Cups, love, compassion, creativity, new feelings, spirituality, intuition, new baby, proposal, marriage. For sure, there's new feelings when you move into a new home and even when you leave the old one. And here's the King of Wands. Just to be very quick, the King of Wands says it's the big picture. And the big picture is you got some new feelings going about your house. You know, the first row introduces and recapitulates what my intent was when I dealt the cards. Let me read to you more about the King of Wands. Natural leader, visionary, entrepreneur, big picture, overcoming challenges, mature, and career focused. Yes, moving is a challenge. You're going to overcome it. You got help. Because look at that Ace of Cups. That's that hand of God is coming out of the sky and it's overflowing. That cup is overflowing for you. The Two of Pentacles. It indicates multiple priorities. You are moving from one house to another house. Very clever, Mr. Tarot card. Multiple priorities, time management, adaptability, and balancing decisions. Well, it's the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles indicates hardship, including financial hardship. And you could even look at this and say, you know, these guys are not even inside a building. They don't have a home. They're on the outside. Let's read what it says about the Five of Pentacles. And it could just be here saying things are expensive when you move. But let's see what it says. Financial loss, lack of mindset, loss, isolation, worry, need, poverty, and insecurity. So sure, there's always worry and concern when you move, and moving is always expensive. If it doesn't cost money, it costs time, could cost something else, you know, wear and tear, setting another project aside just so you can get the house moved into, for example. But luckily, the universe says there's magic in the air. You know, your move has the Ace of Wands energy about it. It's a new project. There's inspiration, an urge to create, willpower, desire, power, potential beginnings, new opportunities, and growth. You get to make a new home. How wonderful. I'm sure you picked it for a very important reason, to make your life even better than it was. Next up, the Queen of Swords. She says, you're right. So I'm going to just go way out on a limb because I don't know anybody from anybody. But if you had a doubt in your mind about whether this move was a good idea, the Queen of Swords says, you were right. You needed to make this move. The Queen of Swords reads, unbiased judgment, independent, clear boundaries, direct communication, clear-minded, and perceptive. And then meanwhile, there's the Five of Wands closing it up, which just tells me, even though you were right, that doesn't mean things are going to be easy. The Five of Wands reads, competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreements, strife, and tension. I hope that this is like on the periphery and that you keep your eye on the prize, that you get to create a new life. You got two aces here. if this is 7-card stud, I'd hold these cards. Okay, you got 2 aces, and follow whatever hardships and challenges you have. Well, this one does. This one starts it. Anyway, I hope that was a good reflection. I hope it was entertaining. And I want to say good luck to you again on your move. So that leads me to Abby, who asked about a new job. And then after I take care of Abby, I'll go back into the chat. I see I'm still under an hour, so I'll see what's going on. Oh, it looks like we have 5 people in the crowd. I'm starting to learn how to read the studio numbers here. Or is it, did 8 people like it? It's all right. I'm just glad you're here, everybody. So anyway, let's find out. Abby's got a new job. Let's find out what's going on. Abby's a new job. And at the same time, I'm sure Abby is thinking, I need well, everybody needs to think this, right? In the 21st century, I need a side gig. Okay. Another thing we need to do is to learn how to invest. And I don't mean just doing it yourself on the stock market, but let me put it this way. There's a history in my family of using savings bonds. Of course, using savings bonds in the 20th century were much more profitable than maybe going for it now, because they cleaned up all the little gaps and loopholes. But nevertheless, you need something where you could do a little bit of work, like writing a book, and then that work will just carry on and earn you money. Like maybe you're writing a book about something you're an expert in. You put it in simple language, language that a 6th grader could read. And I picked 6th grader because Secret Space Program experiencer Penny Bradley says that's pretty much what people in the United States are ready for. I know that doesn't sound good. And it sounds even worse coming from a school teacher, meaning me. But I agree with Penny Bradley. Most people would rather watch a video. And I can tell you from personal experience, it's really hard for young people in school to read the way we used to, and the way that we used to be trained to do when I grew up in the 70s, for example. I'm so old. Okay, but this is for Abby and her new job. That's like the most important thing. Don't worry about the side gigs and stuff. What's going on with the new job? Please show us what Abby needs to see. Please tell us what Abby needs to hear about her new job. Can we have some helpful hints, some helpful information for Abby and her new job? Please share with us any helpful hints for Abby at her new job. Thank you. This is for Abby. All right. Here we go, Abby. This is for Abby. What's going on here? I'm going to throw a dessert card. I haven't done one of those all afternoon. So after we do the reading here, Abby, I got a dessert card. We'll see if it has another special message as we wrap up your reading. This is for entertainment purposes only. I hope I'm entertaining and inspirational, Abby. And if I'm accurate, that's icing on the cake. Here I go. The King of Pentacles. Wow. Shows us what's important. Wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, and generosity. I mean, if we're talking about your new job, it sounds like you either made a good decision or you're going to be around someone with this kind of energy. And yeah, we are talking about a new job. It's the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles says diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, skill development, and repetitive tasks. That sounds like work. Okay, the new job, what we asked about. Here we go, Abby. All right, I'm having a good time watching these ladies party. It's the 3 of Cups. That sounds so promising. Maybe you had a celebration when you got hired. Did you go out with friends and family? 3 of Cups, celebration, friendship, collaboration, creativity, community, and happiness. Maybe it's going to lead to a lot of community and happiness. I care about the workplace environment. It's a big deal to me. So I hope that this is an indication that it's a good workplace environment. There's the Eight of Cups. And this guy's the walk away card. He's walking away from what doesn't serve him anymore. Makes me want to take another look at all these cards. Let's see the third card here. Oh, God. This guy again, Five of Cups. So I would find it difficult to believe that you were at a good job in a good position and you walked away from it because you were disappointed. I think the reading is saying you asked about your new job. You have hopes for the King of Pentacles, and it's going to come because it's your new job. You picked the right spot. You should celebrate. It's good that you walked away from your other job because, look, at your other job, everyone else kept messing up stuff, and then you would get left to clean it up. And it was hard to value and appreciate the cups that are standing up. You're not even paying attention to good things that are happening at work anymore. All you can focus on is where things are messing up. So it's good that you moved because now all these people are holding the cups up. These three cups got knocked down at the old job. We're holding up those three cups and partying at your new job. Closing sentence. Oh, it's the Queen of Wands. Have a zest for life. Now, it's important to be cheerful at work, but let's not be ebullient. And then everyone, says, hey, check out the new person. What are they so happy about? But, have a good disposition, but at the same time, don't forget to enjoy yourself. It's going to be very exciting in your new job, learning new things, working with new people, accomplishing new missions. And that's knowledge from the divine world. And also it means you have an advantage. You're in touch with the divine world. The divine world probably helped you get to this new job. Let's read about the High Priestess. Intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, high morals. Absolutely. Have fun in your new job because that's how you're going to be the most productive. And trust yourself. No one else can do what you do. That's why they hired you. You're going to show them. And now how about a dessert card, Abby? It's the Knight of Swords. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Charge. Ambitious, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking. Yeah, you go into work like that, but calm like the High Priestess, not revealing all your magical knowledge, but going in there with the charm of the Queen of Wands, ready to have fun and get stuff done. I expect this new job is going to make you look like the King of Pentacles. Abby, thank you very much. Best of luck to you in your new job. Now, I'm going to set some cards aside for a second. Let's give these a quick shuffle and then check out the chat. We have just passed an hour, so I'm not sure. Well, let's see what it says in the chat. We'll see how we're doing. I get to be my own boss today. Thanks for being patient, everybody. Oh, I don't know if I got the question from letter P yet. Let me double check here. Yes, you're welcome, White Blue. You're welcome, Mackenzie Knight. Alana, you are guided by light. Hey, you're welcome, guided by light. I'm glad I was accurate. All right, I love hearing that too. Oh, I see the letter P there. Okay, yeah, way to go, Abby. It sounds like the cards knew what was on your mind, and I think you're on the right path, so rock on. Good for you. Woo! Get a new job. All right, and now, yeah, we'll take care of letter P. It looks like it says prob. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And then I'm going to put the cards away after prob. And, yeah, hi. All right. So, very gratified, by the way, you know, when I hear that a reading has helped somebody, or even when someone just says thank you, it makes me, you know, the next day think, oh, maybe there's someone else I can help today. You know? All right, Prob, cool. So, hey, Prob has a question about what's going on with Mark. You're so welcome, Prob. I'm glad that you asked. So, what's Mark's status? Should Prob move on or wait around for Rob? I bet the two of you had a lot of fun with your rhyming names. It would have been a nightmare for you if the two of you were in my class. I'm sure I would have found a way to make it extra confusing just to be fun. Anyway, Prob would like to know what's up with Rob. Well, I know what we can do. Let's ask Rob. What? I'll do a little psychic list cross trick. Remember, this is all for entertainment purposes only. But let's ask if Mark wants to say something to Prob. You want to try that? I'm asking you rhetorically because I'm not opening my eyes right now, so I'm not looking at the chat to see if you want to try that or not. But let's see if the cards can tell us, what Rob. Oh, it's Mark. I'm thinking, not Rob. Excuse me, Prob. Okay, what's on Mark's mind? Prob wants to know what's on Mark's mind. Prob wants to know if she should just move on. What's going on with Mark? What's going on with Mark? What's on Mark's mind? What would Mark like to say? Because he's not texting. What does he want to say? Where does he stand? Mark, please tell us what's going on. Prob is curious. Please share with us. Please show us what Mark wants to say so that Prob understands. What does Mark want to say so that Prob understands? Really? Okay. I'll try it. And I'll take one off the bottom. All right. It's all very exciting. Try something new. I'm working without a net. Let's see what happens. What does Mark want to say? What's going on with Mark? The King of Cups is back. The King of Cups is the emotionally balanced, compassionate, diplomatic, controlled, balanced, supportive leader who's tolerant and empathic, perhaps, or instead of Mark, maybe this is the way we're presenting the question. We're presenting the query in a balanced way about our emotions so that we know how to move on with Mark. And the Three of Pentacles says that there's teamwork involved. So yeah, we are asking the tarot world and we're asking Mark, what's going on? Tell us what's going on. Sure, it could also represent the relationship you had or have with Mark. Okay, seems like we have him on a bit of a pedestal here. And then also, we made a good team, for sure. But let's see how the rest of these cards play out here. Because we're really trying to find out what it is Mark wants to say. Oh, okay. If you know the Tower card, if you know tarot cards, this is the Tower card. The Tower card reads, sudden change, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, and sudden insight. So there is a big change. There could be sudden upheaval. Yes. And there could be a sudden insight. So, we don't know what's on Mark's mind, but maybe some thought crystallized. And he's on his horse in a hurry to get out of town, to ride out of Dodge. That's the Knight of Wands. Energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure, fearless, and impulsiveness. Or he could just be acting in a way that he feels is best for himself, maybe not so much thinking about how it's affecting others, because after all, his world is coming down around him. Things are changing. He's now following his intuition. When there's an earthquake out here in California, you have to use your instinct to find out where's the best place, the fastest place I can go for cover. And the Strength card has shown up here. The Strength card reads, courage, passion, subtle power, persuasion, influence, inner strength, focus, and compassion. Yeah, it's getting to be a challenging read here. The way Mark used to think about things is not the same anymore. He's charging off towards another direction, and either he's got a lot of strength or he's pursuing a lot of strength. He's pursuing passion or an influence or even an inner strength. You know, in the olden days of the 20th century, a similar situation could have been between, a couple of high school sweethearts. I'm just making up a story here. And then at the end of the summer, after they graduated from high school, the man just kind of like stops communicating with the girl that he'd been going out with ever since they were juniors. And she seems confused by it, but she did not know that he made a decision to go join the priesthood. And he was probably in no hurry to tell her that. I don't know why that story came to mind. It just seemed like that, what I'm trying to say is it may not be like a situation where they're quote unquote cheating, right? But they might have like a new passion and it might be occupying their thoughts more. I say, let them pursue their passion. Like you said, maybe you need to let Mark go. But anyway, speaking of what's on Mark's mind, maybe the Queen of Pentacles, nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. I don't even want to estimate or guess at this point. Let's see these other two cards here. The Hierophant, the learned man and what is socially acceptable. And, oh, look, it's our friend, the Four of Pentacles, holding on to what's precious to him. So I have an idea, and I'm gonna not state my idea, but I just think this is probably the key card here, that there's a change in Mark's life, and maybe he's been doing some re-evaluating about what's going on. And as I mentioned in the podcast last night on Typical Skeptic Podcast, a lot of people believe in the twin flames, but my opinion, just my opinion, is you can't rely on other people. You can't rely on psychics to do your psychic work for you. You can't rely on your mom to cook your dinners the rest of your life, unless you're one of those smart men in Italy who live at home until they're 40. I don't blame you, okay? It's all up to us. And why would we let one person weigh us down or be the anchor that stops our voyage? Set sail and find your own path. Here's a dessert card for us. I hope it helps. If this has anything to do with what's on Mark's mind or what this whole episode is about, the Ten of Swords talks about the end of a painful episode. The Ten of Swords reads, painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, and defeat. So maybe you are both of the same mind that maybe the situation isn't so salvageable. But I don't want to put thoughts in your mind. I'd rather your higher self put those thoughts in your mind and you speak to your subconscious about it. But it seems like you were already onto it when you mentioned in the chat about walking away from the situation. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, that sure was a lot of fun throwing cards for you and getting to meet you over the internet with your little chatted sentences in the chat there. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a quick look at the chat again, but I do believe I'm going to be signing off today. I had a notion of thinking about asking everybody, when would they like me to throw cards for them? I was doing it in the morning this past week. I figured, I'll throw cards. Maybe some people are driving to work or they're making breakfast for the family and they want to start off with a tarot reading and whatever funny stuff I want to talk about. Or maybe, you like the afternoon better, especially if you're in the United States when you get off work. There's still time for Breakaway Ray to throw some cards for us. So if you have an opinion, you could put it in a comment or you put it in the chat right now. That is fine. But again, my pleasure meeting you all. And thanks very much if you visited for the first time. And even if you subscribe, I'm going to quickly check the chat and see if there's any more messages before I sign out for today. Yeah. Good luck, Prab. Did I mention Abby asked, did I mention a meditation video earlier? So if you go into my description, I've got a lot of links. And if there's a meditation video you can pay attention to, it's like way down at the bottom. It's Florence Scovel Shin. And it's neural reprogramming. And that one video, I watched it several times. I practiced it. I wrote my own affirmations. I use them every morning when I go on my morning hike. I start off my day like that. I go on a hike and I bombard my brain with affirmations and trying to take things that don't seem like manageable situations and ask for help from the spirit world to change things. So I do have a meditation link. If that interests you, I'm happy to share that. Well, Prab, you are very welcome for the reading. Yeah, you're very welcome. I'm glad I could help. Tiffany, good to see you. Have a great day. Come back again real soon. Oh, Sally Forth, you're awesome. I appreciate your encouragement. Thank you so much. Thank you, Guided by Light. Okay, wow. I kind of want to just sit in the chair and let you fill up the chat with compliments, but I'm going to sign off now. And thank you very much. I hope you all have a good week. It was fun meeting with you, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.